Hello everyone. I wanted to take some time today to discuss Book of Shadows. It's probably one of the most frequent questions I'm asked. How do I make it? What do I make it out of? Where do I start? What do I include? The most important thing about your Book of Shadows is that it's yours. No one can tell you what it should or shouldn't be. That's the number one rule. There are no rules. Let's take a look inside. This is my first Book of Shadows. I did a little decoupage here, along with some accents on the corners. I wanted it to be pretty as well as functional, so I did spend quite a bit of time making this one. Again, like I said, this is my first one. I have 2 books now. I need to make a third one because I'm running out of room. I do a lot of spells, a lot of rituals. I include a lot of things in mine because, above all, this is a reference for me. I also have a journal, and I'll show you that in a minute. But let's take a look inside so I can show you what I include in mine. All right. So I do keep some things in here because the magic that it holds, it becomes a place of manifestation for me. These are all basic binders, as you can see. I do include a Book of Shadow Blessing. Then there's some things about me, basic things about witches. You'll notice, sorry if there's a glare, but I have page protectors because I'm a little bit OCD when it comes to keeping things neat and organized. But you'll notice as I flip through some of these pages that they're not done because I'll put something in here and then I need to go back and document on it, and that's okay. Your Book of Shadows is always a work in progress. It's not ever something that's finished. You're always adding to it, and things change over time because you may decide you don't want to include certain things, or you do want to include, things about your familiar. Maybe you didn't have a familiar before, but now you do. So that's me getting my sweet Artemis. Some things that I find that I think I just want to include. And then again, you'll see some pages, they just have photos in here with nothing else because I haven't gotten to that yet. These things here are my divider pages. I wanted it again to kind of look old and pretty, so I included a photo. I kind of scored it with the fire along the edges to make it look old, but this page is worn enough, so I needed to put it on some heavy-duty cardstock along with some tabs, so again, that it's organized. These are various altars and my tools, my athame, my witch's hat. This also includes properties of a witch's hat and what it means to us. My wands. So again, this one isn't finished. This is my healer's wand, and it's, I need to write the description on here. I include a section on the Wheel of the Year, and I think I'm going to take this section out and make it its own entire book because I'm always adding to this for each Sabbath. There's things for each one, descriptions of the Sabbath, what I did. I create a shrine for each one that's different than my working altar. I'll do coloring pages because it brings in the energy of that Sabbath. I do include recipes. And sometimes I do a tarot reading, and I will include those tarot readings for the specific Sabbath in that Wheel of the Year section. You see, I write out what was done for each one. Next section, is my rituals. All the rituals that I've done, notes on them, photographs, and then there are pages in here like this one that describes a little bit more about what I'm doing, the afters, how it worked out, what I noticed. There's also spell work in here. Sorry, I had to pause that. My puppy was making a lot of noise in the background. But these are spell works in here. I do include things like conjuring bags and magical powders and whatnot. Then there's a section on divination, basic things, tarot, runes, tarot card meanings. And then I do include readings that I've done. I like to take photographs of the reading itself, the spread, and then the actual cards that I've drawn, along with the description of the cards and what I got from them. And then let's take a look at the second book. As you can see, this one is similar to the other one, but a little different. It doesn't have the cute little things on the edges, but it's practical. I do keep my page protectors as well as the blank sheets in here because I want them to stay clear of any negative energy, but also absorb the magic that's in the book. I have a section on working with deity, the ones that I work with. There's various ones in here, information on them, and then my own experiences with each of them. My section on herbology. This section here includes my plant allies along with how I work with them. And then some of these are the various herb bundles that I've created, their properties, what they're used for. Again, some of them not quite finished because there's always more information to add here. I have a whole section on the magical uses of herbs. I have my animal guides. I have quite a few of them. Each of my guides came to me and gave me a poem, so all of those are included in here, along with their photos calling their energies in. There is a whole section, sorry about the shadows, guys, whole section on astrology. There's basic information, and then I have things that are specific to me. I am a Scorpio, if you couldn't tell, with a moon in Sagittarius and a Leo rising. So I include things about those three specific things, as well as some general information. And then my astrological chart. There's a section for crystal magic. Some reference guide here. And then I like to take photos of various crystals that I use and work with, the ones that I have, their meanings. Then working with the elements. Again, it kind of, each section sometimes starts out with basic information and then goes into more specifics. Like this is the one on how I work with the fire element and how I work with the water element. I still need to add earth and air here. Section on working with the Fae, elementals, how I work with them. Then there's a whole section on witchy crafts, because I think it's important to include that stuff. Things that I make for altars, my air incense, and that is my Beltane maypole. And then I have a whole section, I haven't made a divider for it yet, but this is a miscellaneous section where it doesn't quite fit in with everything else. So my soul places, various information. I found this flower, it's called a Sunbeckia. My given name is Rebecca, but I go by Becky. So when I found this in my Leo rising, being a sun, I definitely thought it was something that needed to be included in here. I've included magazine articles that I've written, along with my Cat Magic author cover. So those are my two main books. Again, like I said, I'll be making a third because there's just too much information. And I also have a journal, my witchy shit. This is one that I found on Amazon. So I included this because I wanted you guys to know that, sorry, the camera's shaking a bit. I included this one because I wanted you to know that your Book of Shadows doesn't have to be something crazy like this. It can be this simple. A little notebook that includes spells and things like that, thoughts, whatever. It can be that simple. I want to reiterate that your Book of Shadows is yours. There is no one out there that can tell you what your Book of Shadows should or shouldn't be. It's for each individual witch to decide what they include or what they don't include. I do have a couple of Books of Shadows that I've made that are in the Etsy shop. And give me a moment and I'll show you those. I have this wonderful faux leather. It's got the wood symbol here along with the little accents. And these will come in the book with you. I'll include the page protectors like I have. If you're creating your own, you can find digital downloads. They are on Etsy, as well as basic images that are on Google that are not copyrighted and such. But I do encourage you to hit up the Etsy stores because they have a lot of these digital downloads for just very little. And then you can print them out however many you need. There's various worksheets, rituals, and this has all of the stuff that you would need to include when doing a ritual. There's just blank sheets. Again, more of the rituals and spells. So that is one of them that I have in the Etsy shop. I also have this lovely one with the stars and the silver accents. Again, it would come with page protectors and pages in it. I think I include 30 pages, but they're just blank pages that you can make whatever you want. You can make your own copies of them, however you wanted to do those. Like I said, I encourage you to go to the Etsy shops because they have all the things that you would need as far as digital downloads for your pages. I keep an entire folder, put this back up here, Book of Shadow journal pages. These are what you might find on the Etsy shops. So this one would be something that I would use for my Yule description. So I keep ones in here for the Sabbats journal. This is about my writing. Ritual planners. You saw this one already, the spells and charms worksheets. And then these blank pages. I do like to do some of them on colored paper. So these are the things that I use to write out. Sometimes some spells, sometimes it's just the outcome of a spell, the outcome of a ritual, the description of the Sabbat and whatnot. But I want to encourage you again, make your Book of Shadows unique to you. You might see a lot of pictures online. You read about other people and their Book of Shadows. But the most important thing is that it resonates with you, that it reflects you and it reflects your magic. It's a reference guide. Recipes, spells, rituals. It's a way to look back and figure out what works and what doesn't work. Was the magical timing off? Maybe this spell should have been done on a Sunday as opposed to a Tuesday. All of that stuff you keep track of, and that helps you learn in the future what works, again, what doesn't work, where your magic is going, where it's been. You can see how you grow, how your magic grows when you keep a reference book. So again, I highly encourage you to keep a magical reference book of your own. Some people call it a Book of Shadows. Some people call it a grimoire, book of spells, whatever you call it. Make it your own. Have fun with it. Magic should be fun. It shouldn't be a chore. All right, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'd be happy to answer those. You can also message me. Check out my Instagram. It is at Just a Mountain Witch. I also have the Etsy store, which is also Just a Mountain Witch. Again, any questions, leave them in the comments. I'd be happy to answer those. Thank you guys and have a beautiful day.